All right, joined now by PC Athletic Director and Vice President Bob Driscoll. Bob, thank you so much for joining us. I want to start today with the president of Providence College, Father Shanley. This is his last month at PC. Unusual circumstances, obviously, the last few months, but what did his time over the last several years at PC mean to you?
Well, he's the best president I've ever worked for in 46 years. But more importantly than being a president, he was a great friend and a teammate. I mean, you look what we've been able to accomplish over the last 15 years with national championship, Big East championships. Hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of renovations, and it doesn't happen without having a strong leader like Father that understands the value of a successful athletic program.
So why did he put such a premium on athletics? So many school presidents realize the value in athletics for visibility for the school and for a lot of financial benefits, but was it just something he appreciated, or was it sort of a team effort of you folks in the athletic department always knocking on his door about putting more into athletics?
Well, Father's always been an athlete. He was a great high school athlete. He's a martial arts expert. He's an aficionado of all the New England sports. So it's part of his DNA, and he just happens to be a brilliant philosopher and a priest. So he has some unusual qualities. But I think he also understood the brand of the college. A big part of the brand has to do with the success of the athletic program and being on national television and Fox Sports and having a high-profile basketball and hockey program really helps your exposure around the country, if not around the world. So he's smart from a business standpoint. But the thing I loved about Father is that he just let you do your thing. Like our goal was always to have the model program in college athletics, and he never really stood in the way. He said, "Hey, if we can raise the money and we can make it happen, let's do it." So that's what good partnership is about.
I know he said that winning the hockey championship in 2015 and the building of the Ruane Center are a couple things that stood out. Going back to the 2015 national championship, what was that ride? What did it mean to you and him and the administration at Providence?
Well, it's a bit surreal. You can see over my right shoulder the national championship banner right there, so it's near and dear to my heart. But I have a picture of Father and I hugging each other on the ice after we won the championship. And as a guy that grew up in Boston and getting to play where the great Bruins played and to win the championship against BU there was really, really special. And I think it's probably, in terms of my athletic career, probably the greatest experience I've ever had. And to have your president of the college, who's done a lot of amazing things in his career, say that was his chiming moment as well, really showed you how special a night that really was for all of us.
And your coaches, and Coach Cooley comes to mind specifically, always talk, when he says he loves Providence, he always mentions you and Father Shanley first. So how important is a school president and an AD to the comfort level and success of a high-level coach like Coach Cooley?
That's a great question, Yanni. I mean, you can't do this on your own. Father Shanley can't do it on his own. Ed can't do it on his own. Nate, I can't. You have to have people who are aligned from top down, have the same vision. It also includes all the trustees and all the student athletes and all the students and alumni. It really is a collective effort, but it really starts at the top. If you don't have people at the top saying, "Hey, this is important," it's hard to get everybody on the bus. So it's really important to get those people aligned, and it happens very infrequently in most organizations.
And so what's next for PC Athletics with the new administration coming in after Father Shanley leaving?
Well, I have great hope because Father Sicard has been Father Shanley's right-hand person, and I've had a long-standing relationship with Father Sicard, and so he understands the value that a successful athletic program has. He's a good man. He'll work hard. He'll be supportive. So I don't think we'll skip a beat, but there's only one Father Shanley. Men like him come around once in a lifetime relative to supporting the program. So he's going to be missed, but we just have to suck it up and get the job done. And I think Father Scott will do a great job.
One last one on Father Shanley. Everyone sees him in his robe, and he's this dignitary of sorts. Do you have maybe a funny or a colorful story or a humorous story or something you just remember him by? Maybe it was a game or a practice or just an everyday moment that sort of humanizes him?
Yeah, well, he's a really pretty competitive guy, and he's got this beautiful house on campus, and he has what he calls his man cave at the top of the house where he's got all the Red Sox and Patriots and Celtics memorabilia, national championships. And he got to throw the first pitch out at one of the Red Sox games, and I was busted his chops. I said, Father, don't short arm it. So he had thrown the ball and it went in the dirt. And I walked up and I said, Father, is that where you short arm the ball? I can see the dirt on it. Now he's got a third-degree black belt in karate. Hit me with one of these 6-inch boom shots in the shoulder. My neck almost snapped. And he was serious. He said, don't ever make fun of me again. I said, listen, not only are you the president, you're the toughest guy in the room, so I apologize. So it shows you a little bit who he is. He didn't want to be made fun of because he short-armed the ball.
Unbelievable. All right, I want to switch gears to the state of where we are right now as a country in college sports. One of the things hit the hardest by COVID-19. The school has come out and said that you guys are going to bring kids back to campus in this fall. I'm sure you're preparing for an array of scenarios with the virus and so forth, but where do you stand right now on kids being back on campus and these fall athletes and not far behind the winter athletes?
Well, Yanni, as you know, it changes from day to day, and I'm on the COVID Big East task force. We have one on campus as well, and we're planning to bring our student athletes back. I think the college is doing the same with respect to the students. The final decision has been made yet. We have to get approval from the governor relative to our plan, but it's a really good plan. But our goal is to get people back. Their health and safety is the most important thing, and I think we'll know more by the end of this week, the beginning of the following week. But you see a lot of people out there testing positive, but you got to make sure that their health and well-being is the most important piece. But we want to play. We want to compete. Want to bring some normalcy, I think, to the world with sport, but we have to make sure that we do it in a safe environment.
You've been in college athletics for a long time. Is this the most challenging situation you've been in?
Yeah, I think by far, it really is. I was talking to a colleague of mine that I've known a long time who's really successful in his chosen field, and he said this is the most complex leadership time in the history of his career, and I will say in the history of mine as well. These are unprecedented times, and because the problem is you make a decision one day and it changes the next and the next, and trying to keep people positive and believing that we can return. We talked a lot about a growth mindset. What do we do during the time frame when we're down so we do return, that we're better than when we actually left it? And our people have been working hard, and we're going to do the best we can to kind of play sports. But you see what's happening with baseball and football. This is going to be a challenging time, I think, at least for the next year, and we're just going to have to do the best we can.
And do individual schools like a Providence College have their own set of rules, or do you adhere to whatever the Big East says? So what I mean by that, if there's a kid on the men's soccer team that has COVID, does he go into quarantine and the whole team does and you go on your way, or is this a plan PC makes independently of the whole league and the NCAA?
It's a really good question. On this COVID-19 task force we have for the Big East, we talked about that very thing. But think about it. We've got 11 different states, and every state is governed by a different set of circumstances. There are some places in the country that they have less of an impact, and maybe they can get back earlier. There are places like DC, Philadelphia, and New York City that's a little bit more locked down. So we're going to let every school determine what's in their best interest, but everyone has their student athletes' best health at mind. So that's a moving target for us right now, but it's a really good question. I don't have all the answers to it.
Yeah, probably one more question you'll have an answer for, but you commented on it recently. What is an update on playing at the Dunk this winter?
We had a really good conversation with Larry Lepore, Jim McCarville, and Bernie Bonanno last Friday, and I know they're going to be talking to the governor later this week, the beginning of the following week, about doing that. We're hoping that we'll be in there. We've had some conversations with Mohegan Sun as a backup plan, but the Dunk is where we want to play. It turns out, what's the numbers? How many people can get in there? There'll definitely be social distancing. You certainly won't have 10 to 12,000 people there, but I think we'll know more in the next couple of weeks. The good news is we've already sold about 85% of our season tickets for this coming year. And so that tells you the interest people have in coming back, but that has to be determined by the state and what they allow us to do.
Yeah, and the URI PC game is at the Dunk this year. That is always a packed house. Finally, as it's, we're in June here, as kids come back later in the summer, Are you guys in the athletics, are you just waiting for, I know you're doing this interview at your home office, are you waiting for the campus to sort of be alive again and kids be walking around and going to class? I guess how looking forward to you are a sense of normalcy on campus again?
Well, sport is a personal relationship game, so it feels really odd for me to be doing this through virtual reality, if you will. And I think our student athletes are looking forward to that, as are our students. But I guess the thing we have to really make sure is that we have our ducks in order so that our students and our student athletes are protected. And I think we're doing a good job with that plan. And then we have to put it into action and start bringing students back slowly. But we have to get the approval by the state first, and if they
Right.
say yes, then I think the cabinet and Father Sicard will make the decisions that's in the best interest of the students.
All right, thanks so much, and we appreciate your inspirational quotes and pictures every morning. Always a positive attitude coming out of Friartown in the morning, right?
Well, every day is game day, Yanni, right? You got to bring it.
Did you get God Shem God's new sneakers yet? Did you get a pair sent to you
No,
yet?
I'm still waiting in the mail. I don't know, maybe you lost my address. I don't know, but they're pretty cool, aren't they?
Very cool. They're Puma, which isn't Nike, which you guys are a proud Nike school, but very cool. And Jamel Thomas, Maury did a story with his clothing brand. So a lot of PC entrepreneurs out there right now. Pretty good.
Yeah, a lot of smart men, a lot of people that have used their Providence education for good, and they're just good people at the end of the day.
All right, thank you so much, and stay safe, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks, Johnny. Take care of yourself. Go Friars.